everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report. Happy to be here in 2018. Our first show, Sam, and our guest is, he's been here before.
A few times, and we're glad to have him back here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Excited to be here.
Brett Duncan, Athletic Director at CHS. The weather's playing havoc with schedules today, no school, so is it automatic that no sports when there's no school?
No, not necessarily, but we were supposed to play freshman boys basketball tonight, but Saturday, their AD called me and they got too many injuries, so they didn't have enough boys to field a team tonight. So we're not canceled because of weather.
Okay.
We're canceled because the team didn't have enough freshmen.
That's Northeastern?
Northeastern. They had 2 concussions and 2 other injuries, so they were down 4 kids. So
wow.
They were hurting for players. So.
Okay, well, that's a good enough reason, I guess.
It is what it is. We'll make it up later if we can work it in. So.
I hope you can. Okay. Let's see what's left of the schedule this week at CHS following tonight's cancellation. Tuesday, the girls' basketball will be at Richmond, with Richmond at Spartan Bowl. Gymnastics meet with New Palestine and Newcastle at CHS Gym. That's the opener, isn't it, Brett?
Yeah, there'll also be a young lady from Union County participating and one from Pendleton Heights as well. So.
Okay. Co-ed swimming, teams will be traveling to East Central. On Wednesday, the varsity wrestling will be at Hagerstown. Freshman basketball with Muncie Central will be coming up on Wednesday, so hopefully they'll get to play that game. Thursday, the gymnastics team goes to Rushville. Friday, girls basketball at Franklin County. Saturday, it will be the wrestling team in the Invitational at Franklin County. Co-ed swimming at CHS Natatorium with Oldenburg Academy in South Dearborn. Girls basketball with Guerin Catholic at Spartan Bowl at 6 o'clock. Boys basketball with Muncie Central, Spartan Bowl at 7:30. So that's a doubleheader this week. This week at Connersville Middle School, they had a couple of games canceled today because of the weather and no school. Red basketball girls will be playing Centerville at Spartan Arena. Tuesday, the boys red basketball at South Dearborn. Girls red basketball home to Rushville St. Mary's. Wednesday, the boys white basketball will be at Newcastle. Girls red basketball home to Seton Catholic. On Thursday, the girls white basketball at Newcastle. Saturday, the boys red basketball team will be an invitational at Newcastle. So a lot of sports. Hopefully the weather won't interfere with anymore.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, nice to have snow at Christmas, but I'm ready for 70-degree weather. Let's keep things rolling.
They're saying 60 on Thursday.
So. That'd be all right.
You can handle that, huh? We might talk a little bit about what's happened during the holidays and everything. The Spartans went to Richmond in the wedding tournament, won 3 of 4 games with a 3rd-place finish.
Yeah, it's our best finish in the tournament since we've been in. I know it's just kind of an odd setup. It depends on when you get beat as to how high up you can finish in the ranks. I think we went 3-1 last year and got 9th, and we went 3-1 this year and got 3rd. So played 3 good games and had a tough quarter and a half against Cathedral, but they're awful solid as well.
Yeah, a good team.
So
Indy.
Good showing for the boys for the weekend.
Congratulations to those
off
guys.
The #1 team in 3A while they were up there in Crispus Attucks.
Aerobatics and
maybe, and we haven't played Attucks very much, but maybe the biggest win since the mid-50s when Big O came to town.
Right.
I thought maybe some of our old guard thought he might be coming back. So.
Yeah, back then it was in the old gym at
Indiana Avenue
Senior High School, which is now the middle school, and the gym was
it's now the
approximate location of where the Spartan Arena is now.
No, it's actually where the media library is.
Oh, okay, that's where. All right, I knew it was in that vicinity, and it held maybe what, 1,500 people,
something like that.
Something like that.
I heard that they used to, when they had sellouts, that they would seat people in the auditorium and play. Somebody would do play-by-play over the PA into the auditorium. So.
Right, and when Oscar fell in that year that he fell, it was the humidity. It was a kind of a warm, rainy night in the winter. Humidity was pretty high. And of course, Indianapolis blamed the slickness of the floor for their loss, but they forgot that the Spartans played on the same floor, so that was unusual.
The only loss they had, I think, in a couple of years.
I think it was, yeah. Yeah, they were champions in those years.
55 and 56.
It was. I wasn't there. I was just a little boy, so but I've heard a lot of stories about it.
Yeah, it was quite a night, quite an event. Of course, at the time, we didn't realize Oscar's potential. I mean, it was.
Pretty solid. Averaged a triple-double throughout his college career. So.
Yeah, watched him. I remember watching him on TV out of Cincinnati when he was at UC, and then went on and played in the NBA and
stayed in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati Royals.
Did real well. In the wrestling, we had a Spartan Classic. Crown Point won.
Yeah, it was a good 2 days of wrestling. If you had a chance to get out, it was great.
18th, which wasn't bad out of 32 teams.
No, considering the size of some of the schools, Carmel's got 5,000 kids coming in, and we're at 1,000 something. So Crown Point's first year down and went home as a champion. But they have a solid wrestling program at Crown Point, so it was a good addition, and hopefully they'll continue to come back. So
it's a long trip for those guys, isn't it?
Yeah, you got Crown Point from the region, and you got Valpo from the area, and you got 2 Fort Wayne schools, and so got another one, East Noble, which is up in the north. So it's pretty spread out, but it's a good 2 days worth of wrestling. So
teams like to come here. I mean, it's a statewide event.
Yeah, we've had them from Evansville down around Jeffersonville, but there's some changes in wrestling coming next year, so it's got me a little bit worried about how many might want to stay in the Classic. So right now you can wrestle in 7 invitationals and 4 dual meets. Next year you can only be in 6 invitationals and 6 dual meets, so it makes me wonder if any of those schools will drop out of ours. I know we're going to have to get out of one because we're in 7, so we'll have to drop one of our tournaments that we're in. So
what's the thinking with that?
Hopefully it'll will spur on more rivalries amongst high schools and dual meets to wrestle each other instead of the big weekend meets, which everybody does a lot of times. So trying to gouge the interest again. And if you've been there, you notice they've changed their wrestling. They're not always have to be in a singlet anymore either. They can do a 2-piece now. So looks like a tight-fitting shirt and a basketball trunk. So
okay.
So and that started with the middle school. Now it's come up to the high school. So, but trying to do some changes to get the numbers back up across statewide, I think. So I think that's part of the reason. So.
We had some basketball games over the weekend. Sam, you went to Columbus East. And
yes, I did, and went down with the Lady Spartans. Faced a very good opponent down there. They had a girl 6'2", another one 6'1", and I think one at 5'11", and they were pumping in the 3-pointers. At too short of a school record, had 13 3-pointers on the night. Our girls, I think our girls played as well as they could against that tall of a team, but Coach Thompson, of course, wants to go into every game and win it, and that's his job. But it was a very good basketball team that we saw that night.
Yeah, they're ranked, aren't they?
I think they probably are.
Yes,
I don't.
4A, right? Yeah, they're tall and talented, the Lady Olympians from Columbus East. So
they have. Throughout the years, they've had a good program down there.
Yes, they have.
And Danny Brown, coach down there that from Jennings County, and then one of the Humes brothers is an assistant coach. Humes brothers, you remember from Madison fame, the Madison Cubs. So got some good basketball talent leading them as well as talent on the floor.
Well, they're good because Columbus North has been solid in girls basketball for the last few years with Pat McKee as their coach. But the Olympians knocked them off earlier in the year, so they have a good program this year. So
yeah, probably should go far in the tourney.
You would think they're physical and they're big, and when you got big and physical and you can shoot, that's a dangerous combination.
Right. So we had basketball at Spartan Bowl on Friday night. Greensburg came to town, I think, with the intention of taking the conference lead, but the Spartans had other ideas for them.
Yeah, it was a great game. Kind of cold out, so our crowd was down a little bit, but we were down 10 points there, and I was wondering if we were going to have enough possessions from Stacy coaching at Greensburg, knowing how Kerry coaches. Stacy does a lot of the same things, so
yes.
I was surprised we got enough opportunities to come back to take the lead, and we're actually ahead by 3 in regulation, and thought we had to steal on the last play, and the kid just made a great guarded shot in the corner and tied it up. So thank goodness we got the tip at this time and got out to good lead in the overtime.
I was getting texts while I was doing the game at Columbus, and when I saw that it had gone into overtime, I thought, we're okay. We're all right. We can do this.
It's our 3rd overtime of the season here, so becoming and we've won 2 of the 3, so that's not bad.
And we won all 7 last year.
10 and 1 in the last 2 years.
Yeah. So. Isn't that something? It's amazing.
Sure is.
But speaking of the crowd, they kind of sitting on their hands for about 3/4 of the game at Spartan Bowl. They didn't have a whole lot to cheer about.
Well, I can't say we did a lot to get them into the game, but once we started making it around, they become
The fourth
a big
quarter,
part of it,
right?
so.
I don't know. It seemed like the kids were timid or something. They didn't know how to attack the defense of Greensburg.
You know, Greensburg's pretty solid. I want to say they're either number 2 or number 4 in 3A. So,
4.
I know we played a lot of the ranked teams during the last 2 weeks. We got number
Right.
1, number 4, and number 2. We played the other night, so they're a solid basketball team. I know their superintendent made a comment that they thought they could win the 3A state title this year. So at one point in time, their little freshman kid was the best player on the floor. At one
Yeah,
point
it's
in
Sparks
time,
boy.
so.
But speaking of Greensburg, they stumbled at Shelbyville Saturday night and lost by 3 points. So they had 2 losses, and I imagine Stacy Myers is wondering what hit after the Spartans and Golden Bears got finished with.
Tough weekend.
Yes, for Greensburg, right. Right.
Yeah, well, a couple of years ago, if you remember, we played Shelbyville on Friday night, and they played Shelbyville on Friday night, and we played Greensboro on Saturday. So 2 years ago, we flipped that because we wanted to have our conference game first. So
Yes.
now you got to prepare for the conference, and then you turn around and play Shelbyville, who's pretty good in their own rights, and then of course we turned around and played Newcastle. So it wasn't like we were both going from good teams to bad teams. So we both had good games on Friday night and tough opponents on Saturday night. So.
Speaking of the Spartans game with Greensburg, TV3 was there, and let's see some of the highlights here. Getting ready for the ball game to get underway.
Always a good view of the bowl.
It's Wes Smith with a turnaround and jumper, put it in with 1:19 to go. The Spartans just got off to a real slow start. Of course, that's Garrett Silcott, number 12, driving down with his patented penetration down the lane. This is number 20. This is the freshman Lane Sparks that, as Brent commented, he really carried that team. I mean, he looked very good.
Wes takes it in again. Wes continues to impress me.
Absolutely every game, I think Wes improves. That's Noah Belt, long shot of 3, and
Those kind of come and gone in spurts this year. Hopefully those spurts will continue to get more frequent.
another 3 on the way, and drops it in. That's Garrett. Yeah, the fourth quarter was a pretty exciting quarter when the Spartan began to be able to penetrate. And Greensburg, the Spartans' defense is causing the Pirates to miss some shots. There's Silcott leading. Down court. Put up and in. Don't know what's put back. Yeah, he was there, and he had some crucial free throws in the final quarter here that really put the Spartans.
Well, if you remember right, the Comer kid who hits this 3 in the corner, his dad played at Jacksonville there in the early 90s. They were in the regional final. He moved in from Jacksonville last year.
He's their leading scorer. He had a 22-point average, and I think the Spartans held him to 12 or 13. So good defense in that ball game.
So that was the shot that sent it into overtime.
Right.
Yeah.
So important to get that opening tap.
Right. We saw at
Pendleton.
Yeah. Where they held the ball for the whole.
right 4 minutes, didn't they? Practically 3 minutes and 55 seconds. But yeah, to get and I wasn't sure if Carey was going to do the same thing or not, but we finally shot after a couple of minutes were gone in the 4-minute overtime. Started to move the ball, and
Yeah, great camera work there. It's just
so it's a
missed
buzzer
the shot
sound.
there at the buzzer.
Yeah, as they tried a shot and missed it, and Connor got the rebound. The clock showed all zeros, and we had a 24-42 winner overtime.
So Spartans stay undefeated in the conference, and still got some tough ones coming up, though.
Yeah, we have. We've
With, Batesville and East Central, and
Right.
Lawrenceburg, and
Lawrenceburg at home. Lawrenceburg's on the road. Batesville on the road. East Central's on the road. And Franklin County's the last home game for us in the conference. So.
4 tough ones there, no matter how you slice it.
yeah, they will be. It's the Spartans at Batesville on January the 20th. The Bulldogs are 6-4 in the season, 0-1 in the conference. East Central on February the 8th. They're 6-3 overall, 1-0 in the conference. Franklin County, we play them on February the 16th here at Spartan Bowl, as you mentioned. They're 4-1 or 4-7 on the season, 2-1 in the conference. Lawrenceburg, we play on the 17th of February at Lawrenceburg. They're 8-3 on the season, 1-2 in the conference. So, as you point out, some pretty good games remaining. Strong teams,
and we always have a bullseye on our back. The Spartans
That's right.
do, and all those teams will be out to get us. I know we're going for a four-peat here.
Yeah, we're getting used to winning the conference, so
It's a good feeling.
absolutely.
Control their own destiny.
As long as we went out, we're in charge of where we finish.
That's
now.
right.
So,
Tell us about the game at Newcastle, Sam, Saturday.
Tough night. Spartans led by 1 after the first period, and just too much boom below, I think.
Yeah,
I remember the boom below kid, number 3, terrific basketball
Is he
player.
a junior this year?
Seems like he's been there for the last 6 years.
Mike, he was just a
but
sophomore last year.
I think him and Gillis are both juniors.
He and Gillis, and Gillis had to set quite a bit, got in foul trouble,
Really?
but Williamson kid for Newcastle, I thought played very well, and our guys gave it their all. The important game was Friday night, and for the conference, and you turn around right away and have to play another top 5 team.
Yes.
Played the number 4 team, and then the next night you play the number 2 team. And
Right.
the thing I like though, right up till the end, the kids were hustling and with seconds to go, still diving and going after the basketball. So to me, that's the mark of a good team, a well-coached team.
Yes. Well, Kerry Brown's teams never give up, it seems like. They fight to the very end. So, and that's really important.
We had huge contingent of red there. For quite a while, we had more people there than they did, and their crowd arrived late. But still, I was very pleased to see so many of our fans and friends there at Chrysler Fieldhouse.
JV team, how'd they do?
Won by 6, 47-41. So
They've got a great.
that makes them 11-3 on the season.
Okay, I was wondering if you.
11-3. So.
I knew they had very few losses and a lot of good-looking kids on that team.
Oh yeah,
A lot of sophomores.
Yes.
yeah.
Right.
Which is good.
Absolutely.
The one player, and I hate to single out individual players, but I like the play of the Graham boy. That
And little guy, he's
he is a fireball. Yeah,
I think he had 22 the other night.
yeah,
Did he?
47,
yeah.
So.
He finds a way to score. He gets to the line. Quite a player.
Well, he's competitive. You can tell he hates to lose. He's our first all-conference tennis player too. Never played tennis until July. Picked up the racket and won number 3 singles in the conference. So he'll probably be one of our better varsity golfers. I assume he'll make the varsity team. He shot pretty well in the middle school. So I'm assuming he's going to shoot very well when he gets over to high school on the golf team in the spring.
Freshman,
Assuming he's playing. Yes, he's.
I thought so. Ninth grader.
There's some heritage. His dad was on the '83 state championship team.
Right. Yeah.
So he's grown up being a Spartan.
And his granddad was a good official. Yeah. So, okay, coming up this weekend, Garin will be coming to town to take on the girls. This is a team that's kind of struggling. They're 2-13 right now, so they're having a time getting a win. But they have a win over Shelbyville, win over Franklin County. So
You don't want to
they'll be
discount them.
competitive, I'm sure.
Right.
No, that'll be their first trip, I think, into Spartan Bowl. We traveled up there last year.
Up there last year, and
Middle of the week.
yes,
So that's because on this date last year they had a dance that they were told they had to move the basketball game for. So school-wide dance. So Saturday will be kind of a unique night where the girls are playing Garin Catholic and the boys are playing Muncie Central on the same night.
Right.
So we'll have the JV games in the Spartan Arena. Varsity girls will start at 6. JV boys will start at 6 in the arena, and then when they're done, we'll flip-flop. So
Good deal.
it'd be interesting having 2 different schools there for a change.
Yes.
See where they all sit. We'll find a place for them.
well, I think there's room in the Grand Palace.
Well, I'm hoping that we have enough fans that there's not enough room, but that's all right. So.
Speaking of the girls in the conference, they're just opposite of the boys. Unfortunately, they're in last place with an 0-4 record. 4 of their losses, of their 10 losses, have been to conference teams. Franklin County is right above them with 0-3. So for Friday night, we'll determine one of those teams will have a victory.
Who gets out of the basement.
That's right, and vacate the basement. So it should be an interesting night at Franklin County when the girls go to play the Lady Wildcats.
Always tough place to go play, whether it's boys or girls down at Franklin County, and they're again one of those rivalries that we like, and we like to play those kind of games. But the girls will have to be ready for them. But meantime, they got Richmond tomorrow night, so
that's right.
3 big games this week for the girls.
Yeah, they're going to be busy. Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. So. Greensburg leads the conference in the girls with 5 wins and no losses. So
they should go through the conference undefeated, I would think.
They just have 2 games remaining.
Have they played East Central yet? I don't know. East Central's pretty solid because they're tall. We'll have 4 or 5 girls over 6 foot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we have any over 6 foot. So I would say Greensburg has a great chance to run the table on the girls' side. They're pretty solid. So.
Right.
Coach Meyer's daughters.
Got the twins, and they have the other young lady that's a guard that's quick and shoots a 3 and go to the basket, and she's a tough guard. A couple bigger body girls inside. So.
And we had a couple injuries the other night. Hopefully those girls will be ready to go. I don't know. Maddie Gregory went down
Early, wasn't it?
Early in the game, hurt her ankle, and then late in the game, Tori Bostwick turned her ankle. So the game the other night at Columbus, when Maddie went down, that changed the complexion of the game. Now, I thought that Beckman stepped up and did well, but in a game like that, we need both of them because both of them are able to go to the basket, and they do it in different ways. That Jessica is more of a shooter, and Maddie's the rebounder, but we need them both in there.
Speaking of the teams and everything, we're going to check now with the area girls. Richmond is 9-7. They went over McCutcheon in their last game, and they will be at Spartan Bowl Friday. Centerville is 4-12. They defeated Cambridge City. They'll be at Shenandoah Tuesday. Union County is 7-9. They won over Tri-County. They'll be at Eastern Hancock on Wednesday, and Cambridge City is 8-7. They defeated Northeastern. They'll be at Union Modoc on Friday. Rushville is 7-11. They lost to East Central, and they'll be at Shelbyville tomorrow night, Tuesday. Franklin County is 8-10. They lost to Greensburg, and they'll be home to the Lady Spartans on Friday. In boys in the area, Richmond is 4-9. They lost to McCutcheon. They'll be at East Central on Tuesday. Centerville is 5-7. They won over Northeastern. They'll be at Knightstown Friday. Cambridge City won over Centerville. They'll be at Union Modoc on Friday. Rushville is 2-10. They lost to Bullitt East of Kentucky. They'll be at Morristown on Friday. Franklin County 4-7. Lost to Union County, as we mentioned. They'll be at East Central on Thursday. Union County is 8-3. They defeated Franklin County at Shelbyville on Friday. So that's how the area basketball is doing so far. Spartan's one of the best records in the area.
Yeah, I think we're pleasantly surprising. Coach is always going to have them ready to play, but we lost quite a bit of buckets last year, so where kids were going to fit into this year, so it's been a good pleasure to see.
Absolutely, I think
they play hard and they battle to the end. So
I think we surprised a lot of people. Muncie Central will be bringing the Bearcats to Spartan Bowl as the Spartans and boys play. They're 3-7, so they play at Richmond on Friday night. So they're kind of struggling. Their wins are over Yorktown, Jay County, and Noblesville. So I'm a little surprised that Muncie Central's not doing any better than that.
Yeah, typically they're pretty strong at basketball, so I don't know if there's just some animosity inside, change of coaches or whatever, because they're not getting to play in their favorite place with the field house being renovated or on hold or whatever it is in Muncie. So we'll get a chance to come in a better place on this coming Saturday anyway. So
Yeah,
it's hard to replace their 7 state titles, though, so that's
a lot of tradition.
Can't take that away from them.
the 7 for Central. Of course, add that one with the Muncie South Rebels. They got 8 banners hanging in that field house, so I think it's 8, maybe 9 by now. We'll have to go back and recount.
I think it's 8. I don't know. I think you're right. 8.
So But
It's quite a record.
hopefully it'll be a good win for the Spartans on Saturday. I think it'll be a good win.
Yes.
I say hopefully because you never know, but my heart's where it's supposed to be. So
We wish for a victory anyway here. What's new in the athletic business? Looking at spring, I suppose, and
spring's pretty much set. Just making sure everything's finalized. We've been working on contracts for next year already, and trying to put the fall to rest and get ready to work on the winter here in a minute for next year. And, just plugging along. So nothing much new. Just same old, same old. Making sure everybody's there and the officials there and the buses are in the right spot. So.
I know you're always relieved when the Spartans show up, or the officials show up at Spartan Bowl. I know.
Well, I always say if there's 2 teams and 5 officials and the workers at the door, we're good to go. The rest of it will play by ear. So.
Friday night in these ball games, did the same officials work both games, like the ones that work the girls varsity, or will they work the boys
No,
varsity?
we'll have 2 sets.
Oh, okay.
We'll have a varsity set for the girls. We'll have another set for the boys. So.
Okay.
And then we'll do the same in the JV. I'm assuming sometimes the JV will be the same for both, but last time when we did JV and boys and girls, we had the same JV officials for both games. I don't think we do this time, but.
Yeah. Do you see the 3 officials coming for the JV games ever?
I won't say ever, but I'm not sure why we need it, but I
Okay.
won't say ever. So
Okay.
I could see it come at some point in time, but
Added expense and
it's an added
Yes.
expense.
added headache for you to find more
That's
officials.
true.
Or,
That would be true.
I guess when you look for officials, you're trying to find the quality ones. So a lot of times with JV, you look for new guys you maybe haven't seen, or some that are trying to start out and work
Sure.
their way up. So if you want to hire them at the next level eventually. So there's just a lot of younger guys who want to go straight from getting their license to the top dog and do a lot of the varsity games. So sometimes it's tough to find those great quality JV officials that are trying
Sure.
to work their way up through the system
Right.
and give them a shot to see what they look like. Because you don't like to hire them sight unseen when you don't know them to do the varsity level. So we always try to get a chance to look at them at the JV first if we can. So
How does an individual become an official? I mean, we've had some lady officials every so often, lady games.
yeah, you just have to call the IHSA and ask to take the test. So you got a test for each sport. You got to pass it with a certain percent. It's an open book test. At least it used to be. I'm assuming it's still an open book test, and you usually had about 2 hours to take it. So you got to score a certain percent on it, and then you just get your license. So
Do they have to renew?
every year they have to renew. There's a fee.
Really?
Can't say exactly what the fee is, but once you renew, then once you've passed the test and you have your license, you don't have to take the test again.
Okay.
They'll send you updates if they need to inform you on some things. But
occasionally we'll see evaluators.
yeah, we had one in football. I haven't seen any in basketball yet, but I don't know if they send them out as much anymore as they used to. But we had one come down and evaluate a crew during football season.
Really?
So, yeah.
Has there become a shortage at all in officials that
I think
as
in
much
every-
interest as there used to be?
Maybe not necessarily in basketball, but a lot of the other sports, there's been some. It's hard to find some soccer officials at times. Volleyball officials are a little bit less. It's getting harder and harder to find baseball officials because baseball and softball pay the same amount as an official, but baseball takes twice as long. So a lot of them are jumping into the softball because they can officiate 2 softball games at about the same time they can do 1 varsity baseball game. So.
Economics.
Yeah, for them, that's all they see is money and dollar signs. So, but I don't know. You know,
How far ahead do you schedule officials? I mean,
well, football is probably scheduled out till 2022 already.
no, really.
2020, 2021, 21, 22, somewhere in there, and then basketball's all scheduled for next year already. So we'll be working on the year after. So some of the lower levels we do on a year basis. By the time we leave school this year, they'll all be hired for next year. So. That's the plan. That's the goal. So
It's great to be that prepared.
Do different schools pay different amounts, or is it a set amount?
we're all relatively close, but it's not. One of our neighboring schools by far is the highest paying one in this area. Most of us are in the same amount of range, anywhere from $70 to $80 normally for a varsity official in basketball. So, but there's one neighboring school that pays more than anybody always, no matter what sport it is. So I'm not sure what that is. I can't say they always have better officials, but
Thanks for all the info. We appreciate hearing behind the scenes.
I'm happy to be here. Glad to always come in and talk. So.
Brent Duncan, Athletic Director of CHS, has been our guest tonight, and we're always happy to see him. Big weekend of sports, so hope you folks plan on coming to Spartan Bowl on Saturday night and maybe follow the Lady Spartans to Brookville Friday, Sam.
And don't forget tomorrow night at Spartan Bowl with the girls. With
Good night, everybody.